Hi, I'm Hannah, this is Piles of Books, and today I have another book haul. Okay, I just wanted to say really quick that I definitely think that there is a conversation that needs to be had about book hauls. So in my personal life, I am an advocate for not participating in like fast fashion and materialism and all of that. It does feel a bit hypocritical to bring a bunch of books into my home. However, most of the books that I buy, like at minimum 95% of the books that we own are secondhand, whether I get them from thrift books, Abe books, sometimes eBay, thrift stores, garage sales. My preferred place to buy books is from just like private sellers and some of the used book groups on Facebook that I'm in. So I guess I just want to make sure that people understand that I would never want somebody to feel less than after watching one of my book haul videos. So, two, the library. Okay, I use the library extensively. I love the library. The library has saved me so much money. But because I am so familiar with my local library and the library system that we are a part of, I know that there are books that I used to be able to get that I can't get anymore. There are books, that I checked out like 6 years ago that I tried to find recently, and none of the local libraries have them. So those kinds of books I will buy. So a lot of times when I want to buy a book, like for, our homeschool curriculum or something, I will look to see if the library has it first. And if they don't have it, then I'll buy it. Obviously, if I go to the thrift store, I'm just, those are impulse buys, but I am fortunate to live in an area where books are fairly cheap, like at thrift stores or garage sales. So I don't feel bad spending, 25, 50 cents, 75 cents, even $1 on a book, especially if it's in good condition, that I feel like could be valuable, to myself or my kids or my husband or for our homeschool or even for somebody else. I just wanted to cover that. I don't feel like I necessarily owe you an explanation for my book hauls, but I do just want people to understand that when I buy books, yeah, I might have, like 20 new books to add to my shelves, but I've probably spent, like $10 or something. So all that to say, I do have a really fun book haul to share. I'm very excited about these books, but now you also know a little bit more about my buying habits. So I am going to start with the new books because there are less of them. So some of these are for our homeschool. Some of them are just for me. I did look at the library to see if I could get these, and either I couldn't get them at all or the wait was like way too long. Let me try to, yeah, okay, that's sorted a little bit better. Okay, so the first one is Bullfinch's Greek and Roman Mythology, also known as The Age of Fable. So this is a book that I'm going to be pre-reading for my son. He's in year 3 for Ambleside Online. This is a year 4 book, and we do own a couple of other mythology books that we could have used in place of this, but I get this one for several different reasons, and I am looking forward to reading that one myself. The next one here is The Storybook of Science. This is by John Henry Faber. So again, this is a Ambleside Online Year 4 book. However, our nature study curriculum that we use, Exploring Nature with Children, uses this book fairly frequently. So I have gotten it from the library before, and we have enjoyed the few little stories that we've read from it, but it's one that I've wanted to own anyway, so I grabbed a copy of that. And then I also have A Walk Through the Glen. So this is by Anne White, but the original book is called Madam How and Lady Why, and it's by Charles Kingsley. So it is another Ambleside Online year 4 book, possibly year 5 as well, but Anne White here kind of like, this is an annotated version. She has just added some notes and things to make it a little bit easier for modern readers. So I was going to buy the original one, but I thought it would probably make my job as teacher mother a little bit easier to just go ahead and buy the annotated version, and if I feel like we need the original, I can always, sell this one probably and buy the original later on. The next one is Know and Tell, The Art of Narration by Karen Glass. So this is a book just for me to read, but it does have to do with homeschooling. So narration is a vital part of our homeschooling curriculum. Karen Glass based her book off of Charlotte Mason's writings on narration. So I have read a lot of what Charlotte Mason had to say about narration, but I am looking forward to reading Karen's version of it. The next one is The Body Electric, Electromagnetism and the Foundation of Life. I'm very excited about this book. It was recommended in one of the classes that I'm taking, and it's much thicker than I thought it was going to be, but I am excited to read that one. And the last new book I have is Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Peltz. So this is a book that my doctor has wanted me to read for months now, and last fall I did put it on hold at the library, and I waited 16 weeks to get it, and then life got crazy. We were moving. I did not have time to pick it up, and I had to return it. I couldn't renew it because it was on hold again, and then I did just look a couple weeks ago at the library, and it's still, the wait is like really long. It was like 14 weeks or 16 weeks again. I just decided to buy it. I did also look at the audio versions, but I think I just know I'm going to want to be able to like mark things and take notes in that. So audio doesn't obviously work very well for that, but then also through Libby, which is where I get most of my audiobooks from through the library, the hold was really long. So I just bought the book. It's fine. Next is 52 Favorite Chapters, The Best of A.W. Tozer. So this one, I think, it's just like different excerpts from books that he's written, all kind of compiled into one. So I don't know exactly how I feel about that idea, but obviously I couldn't leave it there. Okay, so The Mayflower, The Families, the Voyage, and the Founding of America by Rebecca Fraser. I just grabbed this because it was 50 cents. It's a nice hardcover. It's in fairly good condition. And I feel like as a homeschooling family, I can't really have too much of this sort of thing on my shelf. Next is The Perfect Storm, A True Story of Men Against the Sea by Sebastian Junger, I think. This says, October 1991, it was the perfect storm, a tempest that may happen only once a century. A nor'easter created by so rare a combination of factors that it could not possibly have been worse. So there's more to it, but that's all I'm going to read. This just kind of looked fascinating, so that'll probably be on a TBR fairly soon. The next is Missing May by Cynthia Rylant. This is a Newbery winner. So inspired by Krista from Books and Jams, I would like to read through the Newbery winners one of these days. So I grabbed this with that in mind, but also because I've never been disappointed by Cynthia Rylant. The next one is Smart Women Keep It Simple, Getting Free from the Unending Demands and Expectations on a Woman's Life. This is by Annie Chapman. Again, I don't really know much about it, but it looked good. And then this one is The Childhood of Famous Americans, Benjamin Franklin. We actually own this book. I might even own 2 copies of it, but I love this series, and you will definitely hear me talking about it in future videos. This is a wonderful series, so I will be giving this one away because, like I said, I already own 2 copies of it, but for 25 cents, I had to grab it for, some other family to enjoy. These were 25 cents each. Girls Behind the Camera and Girls for the Vote, and then Girls at War and Girls on the Up. I really don't know anything about these, but they're basically just short biographies of different women in history. So I will read those and see if it's something that we want for our homeschool shelves. Next is The Gospel Reset, Salvation Made Relevant by Ken Ham. This book was 50 cents, and I think it's brand new. The spine is still crinkly. So I grabbed it because it's short and it will be an easy read, and it might end up being something that I really like. Next is Radical by David Platt. Taking Back Your Faith from the American Dream. So I read this book last year and I really like it. I recommended it to my husband. It's sitting over here on his desk because he was going to try to get to it soon. But the copy that I have is secondhand, and it was pretty marked up when I got it. So I was excited to see this because sometimes it is nice to have a second copy to be able to lend out, but then also be able to keep your copy. And this one has no markings in it, which is also nice to be able to lend out a book that's not, you know, all marked up. The next is Love and War, Devotional for Couples by John and Stacey Eldridge. So I have a few of their books and have not read any of them. But again, this book is like brand new. I don't think it's ever been read. So for 50 cents, I grabbed it. Okay, we have The Classic Starts, The Call of the Wild. I generally am not a huge fan of abridged books, like classics for kids. However, I did think that my son would probably like this story, but I'm not ready for him to read the original one. So I grabbed this, and sure enough, he did really like it. He's already read this. And then next we've got Precious Moments, Bible Classics, Stories from the New Testament. So as a 90s kid, I can't really say no to a Precious Moments book. I mean, how adorable is that? Ah, so cute. And then I have this Help Your Kids with Math. This is a DK book. I used to look at it all the time when I would go to Sam's Club, but my kids, like, they're not old enough, really haven't been old enough for me to buy this sort of a book. Like, we're not really doing a lot of formal math yet. But when I saw this at a thrift store for $1, I decided to grab it. Let's Have a Tea Party, Special Celebrations for Little Girls. This is by Emily Barnes. So I think this book is adorable. There's tons of cute pictures and recipes and ideas. Right up my girls' alley, and I mean mine too, let's be real. And then I have this, I don't really know how to say this, Moliere, Tartuffe, and Other Plays. I'm not totally sure. Anyway, I got this because the Literary Life podcast is going to be covering like some of this or one of these. I don't really know, but I got this to read along with them. I have Crazy Love by Frances Chan. I know that like tons of people have read this. A lot of people really like it. I haven't read it. Excited to see it at the thrift store so I could finally try it out. And then we have Walter Sherwood's Probation by Horatio Alger Jr. So not this book specifically, but some of this author's books are part of a homeschool curriculum that I get a lot of inspiration and ideas from. So I grabbed this one because of that. And then we have The Collectors by Jacqueline West. So I know nothing about this, but I thought that the cover looked adorable. And it's just a middle grade book. It's a nice hardcover. So I will try to get to this one soon, possibly this month for middle grade March, and see if it's something that my son will enjoy. Okay, I've got just a few more. There's one more used book, or new book, sorry, that I forgot about. I have Poor Richard by James Dougherty, I believe is how you say that. Again, this is for Ambleside Online Year 4, so I will be pre-reading that one. And then I have two more used books. I'm excited about both of these. Okay. These were bought in a book group that I'm in on Facebook, and so it's always interesting to see how people package the books. So I got Jane Austen. This is Lady Susan, the Watsons and Sanditon. I'm most excited about reading Lady Susan because I have enjoyed the Amazon original, what is that called? Love and Friendship. It's funny. And so I think it's supposed to be loosely based on Lady Susan. So I am looking forward to reading that one very soon. And then the next one is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories by Robert Louis Stevenson. So this is the Reader's Digest edition. And I am very slowly collecting different like classic edition sets, collections for myself and my husband, like our set, and then a different one for each of my 4 kids. And the Reader's Digest editions are the ones that I'm collecting for myself. So I don't know if they're all, yeah, I believe that they are all, they have some illustrations. But anyway, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6, and this will be my 7th one. Oh, I didn't really necessarily grab it for this book in particular, but I grabbed it because it was a super great price to add to my collection. Okay, that's all I got for you today. This is a ton of books that now I have to go find space for on my shelves. So if there are any books here that caught your eye, maybe you've read them and loved them, maybe you've read them and you didn't love them, or it's something that you own and you haven't read but you want to, I would love to know all about it in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you in the next video.